Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares. Chris Weidman 15-6, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, 39 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Brad Tavares 19-8, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, is on a 2-fight losing streak, 35 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach, 4-inch reach advantage for Weidman, 1 inch in height also for Weidman. This is not the same Weidman that beat Anderson Silva. This is not the same Weidman who beat Belfort, Machida, that was beating up Luke Rockhold until he made a stupid decision. This is not the same fighter. He's just not that guy. Luke Rockhold broke and changed his career, almost like how Cain Velasquez broke Jr. and changed his career. But Brad Tavares also is not the same guy. And when they were at the top, when they were both in their prime, obviously Chris Weidman was better. Obvious. I think that's fair to say. Brad Tavares' biggest issue is he just cannot take a punch anymore. Hasn't been submitted. He's 14-8 in the UFC. Got destroyed by Bruno Silva. Yes, did catch a knee, but it was the right hand that really finished him. He did look really good, actually, against Dricus du Plessis. Looked really good up until about the second half of the second and the third round. He started to fall apart a little bit there, but it did look good against him. Got a couple wins back-to-back, which he desperately needed. He's just a guy that can't take that punishment anymore. He's a guy that if you catch him early, you can finish him. It happened in the first round against Bruno Silva. It happened against Edmund Shabazian there. Happened against Robert Whittaker in the first round here. Happened to Tim Boesch back in 2014 in the second round. But that's the only one that is past the first round. Past the second round. So, again, you can catch him early. He's been in the UFC for 13 years now. You know, also the issue is if Chris can't get Brad out of there in the first, I think Brad can do some really, really good things. Chris Weidman, out of 6 losses, he's been finished all 6 times by TKO or KO. It's all of his losses. 11-6, been in the UFC now for 10 years. Coming back from a ridiculous broken leg against Uriah Hall, which he did previously beat before. This fight is really hard to pick because it's just like if Brad Tavares can get out of that first round, which I do think is going to be tough, Brad could win the fight. But if Chris wants to push him and wrestle Brad, he might be able to wrestle him and beat him up and grind out a decision. And honestly, I think that's what happens. I think Chris goes back to his wrestling. I think he clinches him up against the cage, takes him down when he needs to, and just does what he needs to do to win the fight. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be enjoyable. It's going to be in Boston. It's a really kind of a toss-up in this one to me, honestly. I like Chris Weidman, I guess. I like the striking much more of Brad Tavares. But I think the takedowns are going to be strong on this night. And I think Chris Weidman gets back on track. As always, guys, subscribe, like, comment. Let me know who you guys are picking. As always, peace.